So I'm here with Siri Bahadur Khalsa. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you. And we're, I think, both, and I think in the yoga community, there's quite a bit of buzz about this year, 2022. And I think after the last 2 years that we've had, especially within our community, there's a lot of excitement about that, and it has to do with the actual number itself. So I thought we could have some time to just kind of talk about what that means and why there's so much excitement about that and what you've got coming up for this month and into the coming year.
Very good. I'd be happy to talk about that. Well, you can approach numerology, you can approach time and space any way you like, but looking at the numbers 2022, um, they add up to six, and uh, in the yogic numerology world, that aligns with the base of the auric field called the arc line, and uh, just basic information when you're looking uh, at pictures of saints or holy cards or whatever. You'll see a halo from earlobe to earlobe uh, around different of those people, and that's significant of the arc line. And those who are sensitive with that kind of sight will would just see the arc line, and being familiar with that, you can tell a lot about a person, their health, their disposition, and um, so the arc line itself is um, energetically, it responds to and is involved with one, integrity will make it stronger and more balanced, but operationally, the arc line's involved with sensitivity and with projection, or the yogis will call it the power of prayer. And so, uh, just looking at what is going on in these times, um, in order to deal with situations um, neutrally, productively, and non-reactively, it's it's useful to be non-judgmental in your sensitivity, and actually open to sensitivity. A lot of times we're closed to it because um, it's too painful to be sensitive to all the things that are going on. So there's that sensitivity, and usually we're sensitive to people that we're close to or people that are in uh, our operational orbit, whether we work with them, live with them, or uh, relate to them via Zoom or near or far away, because the domain of the arc line and the electromagnetic field of which it's a part uh, uh, operates a lot beyond just confined space.
It's like
And then,
psychic proximity.
correct, yes, and so psychically we're very proximate to one another. Um, and then you have the power of projection, the power of thinking about someone in a certain way. And when you look at the cosmos vibrating magnetically, all the electrical particles of creation, those are influenced by thought. So as I think of you, uh, uh, I actually influence your electromagnetic environment to some extent. And and so as if we do this consciously, then we have the opportunity to elevate someone's environment, someone's attitude, someone's um, well-being. So this year, that's in play, and it just makes sense to develop that, be aware of that in our endeavors and in our projection, and that's what we'll be doing this year. and this month in particular, just getting started with having a deeper awareness of that vibrational field. uh, the aura itself. Some of the arc line this month, but probably next month we'll go into it more. And there are yogic techniques that allow us to clear that space, align it, balance it. Because yoga is all about balance. You don't want anything too weak. You don't want it too strong. You want it just right. So
It seems like, for me, one big thing that came up while you were talking is, that power of projection. It has, the light side and the dark side of that. So,
yeah,
you know,
yes.
being conscientious and taking the extra effort to clean out our own system so that we can be refined, then thereby our projection is, cleaner and more productive and contributing positively as opposed to the alternative if we're not as diligent or conscientious about it.
Well, sure, and we can see the effects of being judgmental in respect to polarizations. It's like right now, it just seems like any situation you look at, whether it's politics or health or religions or race or even age, it's like it's us against them. It's this fact, this polarity against that polarity. And um, and the less conscious we are of what we're projecting, what we're seeing, and the less we allow ourselves to listen to others, um, and even allow others to feel like they're being listened to, um, creates a separation. And again, we can see the results of um, not paying attention to that, because it's always, well, we're the good guys and the others are the bad guys. And so yoga makes use of a neutral attitude, a neutral mind, and an allowing perception that you can, uh, a lot of times, if you investigate, if you talk with somebody without even entering into the idea of politics or religion um, or any of the isms, um, you'll find that we have a lot of common. Like, I want the same things that you want. We just have a different way to go about it. Well, um, the fact that we want the same things is more cause for celebration than it is for separation. And so, as we engage in that, we'll we'll find life a little easier to deal with. We'll find ourselves healthier. We'll find that the overall environment becomes more friendly. It just amazes me how little we pay attention to what conflict causes in terms of the experience of our environment, and to think that we're isolated or insulated from nature, uh, from one another, and from life is, from the yogi's point, pretty foolish.
Yeah, that's profound thoughts, and I agree. Definitely, it's like, the ripple effect, and I think whether people are fully aware of it now, I think more and more people are starting to wake up to that realization that, yes, I'm a whole person and I'm myself, and yet there is an interface, there is an interaction, and it's unavoidable. And then you kind of, where do you go from there, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's, for me at least, that's the biggest benefit, one of the biggest benefits that Kundalini Yoga and your teachings in particular, your unique blend, um, really brings that home, into a peaceful space. So I can't wait. I'm super excited to, join your classes, and I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. Um, so just feel free to riff on this however you feel. Um, there's a lot of talk about the Kali Yuga or Yugya, and a lot of people say that we're in the time of the Kali Yuga right now. And recently I saw someone post something about 2022 and it's Satya Yuga now. And I'm wondering what you think about that, if you have any, feedback on where are we in terms of the ages and, how much further do we really have to go through this mire of thisness?
Well, just the fact that we're aware that things are shifting is proof that things are shifting.
Mm,
And you know, you I would think that Kali Yuga is synonymous with Piscean oriented um, operation and uh, ways of thinking of ourselves and thinking of others. And that's where knowledge was power and relationships were key and king. And that if you knew the right people and you had a working relationship with them, then you could uh, coerce other people into your way of doing things and to feed you and support you. And so knowledge was control. Now that we're slipping out of that into this Sat Yuga, where it's all about truth, it's all about experience. Uh, as we know, um, you can look anything up anywhere. Whether I mean everybody Googles everything, everybody's looking things up online, and if you go to the right places, you'll find people that um, will verify and affirm that you're correct. You go to the wrong places and you've got a fight on your hands. And so, what that results in is that nothing's right, nothing's wrong, depending on your perspective.
mm,
Uh, the knowledge is is up for debate. It's up for arm wrestling, and that's what we're seeing
mm,
across the board. Well, well, where we're moving to is okay. What's the experience like? What's the experience like if I'm going to judge someone else by how they look, what they say, where they come from, and what their affiliations are? And and that's important because a lot of times we're basing how okay we are with how okay we are with the people that we're running into, how okay we are with our environment. And so we become identified with emotions, with feelings, with definitions and judgments. And when we run into the other, we feel insecure. And, and when we feel insecure, we either run away or we fight or we just become invisible.
mm,
Uh, and so the idea of, okay, well, how do I feel in an experience with someone else? How do I feel when I pit my beliefs against theirs? And usually not so good. It usually never ends well unless someone is neutral and non-judgmental and they say, okay, yeah, I can see what you have to say, has some benefit. But how often do we run into that with people when we're at some kind of disagreement? So yeah, but we're in the process of the change. uh, you don't go to sleep one night and Kali Yuga and wake up the next morning and Sat Yuga. You don't. It's a process, and and there are a lot of people that are doing very well with Kali Yuga. They're doing very well with using knowledge and power as coercion, and so they tend to not want to change very much uh, because they have more to lose. But actually, we all have more to gain by allowing more. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm looking forward to going deeper into the process, and that's what the yoga is about. That's what we're all looking for.
So you'll be going over these themes in your weekly classes. So Mondays at Flow in the
Mm-hmm.
mornings, and then Tuesday evenings on your Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And then as well on Wednesdays so far in the evenings at Flow. That may be subject to change, but for the time being.
Oh
Um,
no, it is changed
oh, it has
as of
changed.
now.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So that's going away. I'll have one drop-in class at Flow on Monday at noon, and then Thursdays, beginning on the 20th of this month, I'm starting a beginners series, Kundalini Yoga beginners series, where we just go over the basics of the yoga. And yeah, I just looked online, and all the Wednesday classes are gone,
Oh, okay.
and the Thursdays on for 6 weeks. And so that's good. If someone has not done Kundalini Yoga and finds it halfway interesting, they could come to that class and learn not only the techniques, but how they can be applied in day to day life.
And what a treat for anyone who happenstances into that class to have their Kundalini experience begin with such a master as yourself.
I don't want to brag, but I think that's exactly true.
I
um,
I brag for you, so you can relax.
thank you. Thank you.
And then on the 21st, there's a special series that's starting at Shunya Yoga Collective.
That's right. That's right. We'll be investigating the experience and the benefits of having a mantra practice for 40 consecutive days. Um, encourage start with 11 minutes, but you can start with less, and just we'll be looking at what's called the Mula mantra, or the root mantra, the base mantra, that is the basic blueprint of the way universal life manifests, and how humans operate on the most optimal level is by um, creating that sound current, and then applying the results of it into our perception, our lives, our emotions, our thoughts, and projection. So that will be fun. We'll meet on Fridays, and um, for 6 weeks, and in between, it'll be interactive with people that are in the course. They can text, email, or interact with one another for support, for sharing uh, their experiences, and should be fun
Well, I'm
and
sure
interactive.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it'll be very powerful.
yeah, yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see what it blossoms and evolves throughout the year.
Hmm.
I'm excited. I know that you're excited too. We've been kind of under the boot for the last couple of years, and I think it's really time to rise and shine and to take the bull by the horns, and the bull being ourselves.
That's right. That's the only bull worth wrestling with.
And I can't wait to chat with you again like this. So we'll be doing at least one of these a month to discuss the themes that you'll be teaching in the classes and any other special events that'll be coming up that are in the works. So
Yes, very good. So, yeah, anyone that's watching this, if you drop in any of those classes, online or in person, we'll be talking a bit at the beginning of the month on what we're doing, and at the end of the month what it was like, and it'll be fun just having some interaction rather than coming in, do what I say, nobody gets hurt, and leave. So we'll have some fun.
as usual. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Well, it's a pleasure as always to chat with
And
you.
mhm.
And I'll see you in class at some point during this month, and hopefully some of our viewers as well.
Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure, Kate, and I appreciate the chance for us to get together and chat and share uh, our experiences with the people that are listening. So,
Satnam.
all right, blessings.